Hello, welcome to Poetry Changes Lives. Here we are, poetry, history, and a thought for the day. I'm sitting in a rather rainy and wet garden today, which is unusual after all this drought and heat wave. But it's nice, it's nice to be able to be happy with small things. A bit of rain can make you happy. A bit of poetry can make you happy. And I'm going to read a really good poem today by John Bunyan, an evangelist, not so well remembered these days, but very active, very highly thought of, the beginning of the 19th century. And on this day, if you go to my website, poetrychangeslives.com, you'll read all about today's post, which is Martin Luther King, another evangelist of the 20th century, very, very famous and highly thought of, a great orator, a great poet. We remember him because he spoke in a poetic form. He famously, on this day in 1963, delivered his speech, "I Have a Dream." If you go to my website, poetrychangeslives.com, you can read all about it. Sign up to get the book here, or just get a daily reading. Martin Luther King we remember because he said, "I have a dream." He spoke in poetry. If he'd simply said, "I think we should stop being nasty to each other and treat all men as equal," nobody would remember him. But because he was a poet, we do. On this day, those words he spoke are these: "I have a dream." Addressing a civil rights march in Washington, D.C., he said, "I have a dream that on this day, one day, this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day, on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood." Well, 5 years later, Martin Luther King was sadly gunned down by a white supremacist in a despicable assassination outside a Memphis hotel. But the dream lives on, and though the red hills of Georgia have yet to see people sitting down in real brotherhood, I like to think that one day they will, and I think Martin Luther King did a great job, a very fine man, not a perfect man, but totally admirable in many ways, just as John Bunyan. I'm going to read one of John Bunyan's famous poem, hymns, whatever you call them, from the 19th century. This is called "He that is down needs fear no fall." He that is down needs fear no fall. He that is low, no pride. He that is humble ever shall have God to be his guide. I am content with what I have, little be it or much, and Lord, contentment still I crave, because thou savest such. Fullness to such a burden is, that go in pilgrimage. Here little and hereafter bliss is best from all to age. Very fine poem, I think. I recommend John Bunyan's hymns and poetry. They're very, very sincere and powerful and moving. Today I give thanks for the leadership and inspiration of the great men and women who put the good of their country before personal gain. Recently, we've been seeing people who've done the opposite, despicable people who put their personal gain before the good of their country. and I, for one, despise them. But I live in hope of the good people prevailing. Thank you for listening. I wish you a good day.